Bonafide Hustler here, and it's another general thrift vlog. We are going to see what we can get into buying and reselling used items that we find from thrift stores, garage sales, and other places. What's going on, guys and gals? Chris the Bonafide Hustler coming to you live from the outside of my house. It's a beautiful morning, and we're going to start this video with a trade. Yeah, so this is a $20 vintage BMX, 24-inch wheels, pretty collectible bike. Arguably worth about $350, maybe $400. And someone hit me up with a trade for a bunch of stereo stuff. We're gonna go, I think, do that trade. It's a Mongoose Expert Pro 24-inch bike, and it is needing a serious restoration. I mean, it's all kinds of effed up. So yeah, the guy that's gonna get it is gonna restore it and do all the things needed to get it perfect, but it is all original, looking really good. And I got into this bike for $20 off a Facebook Marketplace ad about half a year ago. So I had it listed on eBay for like $600, and that was including like a $250 shipping kind of, charge. I'm really thinking this is probably the best move, is to actually honor the trade, because some of the stereo stuff is actually pretty cool. Let's meet up with a guy who's pretty close. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Bonafide Hustler. You can also get a free guide that teaches you some items to start looking out for if you want to try making some money on the side, or perhaps you want to make it your primary hustle. But yeah, it's a free guide. First link down below. Go check it out. Now, this guy is about 10 minutes away, so it's really convenient. And he has actually sent me pictures of all his other builds, like his BMX builds. So he found me off eBay. He found a way to give me his phone number off eBay. I canceled my listing, and I just think this is probably the best way to proceed, because in this it's like an audio video lot, I guess, or I guess an audio lot. There's like a bunch of speakers, a couple subwoofers, there's a couple sound bars, there are two decent sets of pretty good speakers, there are two receivers, one's a 5.1, one's a 7.1. I think that's probably worth it, considering I was already struggling to sell that bike at $600 with free shipping on eBay. Had a lot of watchers, but still kind of struggling. At the end of the day, when all the fees roll in and everything, it's like I would have sold that bike for $350 when all the fees are done. And I think this is just a better and more interesting way to proceed. So we'll see what we get from this guy. We should be seeing those items that he wants to trade with me in about 5 minutes. Okay, so I pulled up to this corporate park that's close to my house, and I'm supposed to meet the person somewhere around here. Okay, I think the guy's here. See you. Yeah.
You're good. And then the subs on the bottom.
Yeah, I actually have this one at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got all messed up though. Actually, maybe this is a little bit bigger. Okay, the deal is done, and there's a lot of stereo stuff in my car in every little crevice. Got some Niles speakers, subs, yeah, a bunch of other random stuff. And I think the Niles speakers are probably the thing with the most resale, but there are other things with a lot of resale. And we'll be showing you that when I get home after this workout. Ooh, what a jackpot score from that Savers right there. Earlier in this video, we showed you how a vintage BMX can really be worth some stuff, especially in a trade sense. Well, from that Savers right there, I found another vintage BMX. This is actually a Haro ZI Group 1 BMX. I think it's all like legit too, with fusion components and everything. So this bike in this condition, this is probably a mid-90s bike. In this condition, flat tires, whatever, I think it could probably fetch somewhere in the vicinity of $300 to like $500. It's a pretty collectible bike, but I got it for $20 with a 20% off coupon on top of that. Then I got those Specialized S-Works women's road shoes. Those should sell for, I don't know, maybe like $50 to $100, but the real winner is this thing right here, which is crazy. Looks like I have another bike that I can put onto, eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something. This one's gonna sell for some good money. I have a sneaking suspicion, but I think like low end, like $300. I just came from this Goodwill, walked out those doors, and I'm spending $15 and just bought myself this. It is so heavy. Humongous mirror, I mean, huge. It's not really meant to be hung up on a wall unless you have some really good studs, but this one, well, strangely enough, the last mirror that we had that was kind of like this size, in the booth sold for, I think, like $400 or $500, $550 or something like that. Anyway, so this one will probably sell for like $350, I would think. But it's extremely heavy, solid wood. It's gonna stay in this truck until I bring it to the antique booth, basically, which is tomorrow at this point. So we have a $12.99 sticker right there. I paid $15 at the door, rounded up. This is a huge find for today. Yeah, this will be the second to largest mirror I've ever found. And so that really big one at the antique booth, someone put it on layaway about a year ago. And I found that one for $50 in Central Austin, Facebook Marketplace deal, put it on top of my truck. It was that big. This one can fit in my truck. So I'm thinking, you know, we got 3 installments of 166. That's all I remember. I remember seeing that on the check. And they paid it like 1 month, you know, 166. The next month, 166. They put it on layaway and then picked it up last like October. This one right here, I think probably 350 or so. Possibility of another 500, but I still think like 350 just due to the size, but it is pretty awesome. And I can't wait to drop it off tomorrow, which would be nice. Been selling some good stuff at the booth. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't make it on these videos just because I have no pictures of all those things. You know, once I do a booth drop, it's tagged, dropped, and it doesn't have any pictures, not in any boxes destined for eBay. It doesn't make it on Facebook Marketplace. Some of the stuff does, but most of the stuff doesn't make it to these videos. But we've had, last month was really good at the antique, last 2 weeks were really good at the antique booth. And now that we're in fall, like the antique booth's rocking and rolling, doing pretty well. On average, we're making, oh man, I would say on average, maybe like $100 a day, maybe $80 a day, something like that. But that average is probably going to go up as the fall goes through. So this is a busy season. So yeah, something like that. Now, normally I don't take the big truck out when I go thrifting at all. We just rearranged a lot of the house today, and there was a fair amount of donations, which the back of this truck, you didn't see it because I never aired it, but it was like full of donations. So I did a donation drop. Then obviously I went to Savers, found those S-Works shoes, those specialized carbon soled road bike shoes. And then I found the Haro Z1 or ZI Group 1 BMX. And then after that, there was another thrift store half a mile down the road. So I went to that Goodwill, and that's where I found that. And there's even another thrift store that's half a mile down the road from that. But I decided not to go to it. Now, I should have gone to it, but I didn't want to because the Haro bike, as you can see, is not in here. It's outside on the rack, but it's not standing up on the rack because it's a small BMX. And that rack that I have is made for like adult-sized mountain bikes. So I've laid down the Haro Group 1. And it looks like this. So I have a little bungee, you know, my house is like right across the freeway. Yeah, that's the bike right there. And I'm pretty sure it's bone stock too, which is even more weird. Everything down to the Fusion pedals. I mean, everything is awesome. It has Fusion headset. Everything is just awesome. So yeah, this bike is probably going to fetch a pretty penny, I would think. Beautiful bike. I think it's like a $97.99 or something like that. Can't believe it was less than $20. That's crazy. At the booth, and the mirror is now in there. Look at that. God, that thing is huge. I'm so excited about selling this thing. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to walk with like $350 out of this guy. Okay, I think we're at the next day here. I just woke up and I scheduled a early, not porch pickup, but Facebook Marketplace meetup for a bike that that we are into for $60 or so, and this bike has a chance of selling for $225 cash. Now, I really thought I was going to get about $300, maybe even $400 for this bike, but I've held the bike now for what seems to be about a month, and it's also cross-listed on eBay. There just hasn't been much. It's a really cool bike, but there just hasn't been much interest in it. So I figure selling it for $225 cash and turning that money, like right now, is probably the better move. So let's go look at the bike. It's outside. It's actually a really cool bike too. All right, so here it is right here. It's a nice kind of like sort of pinkish Schwinn Super Sport with Shimano 600 components. It's really a nice bike, but it is a vintage road bike. And probably the thing holding it back is the fact that it is a Schwinn and not like a Serrata or, you know, some other really cool brand that made steel bikes back in the day. But outside of that, you know, it's a 58 centimeter, about maybe 60 centimeters, so it's made for a tall person. It's a really good looking bike, and it's ready to roll. So $225 cash. Hopefully there'll be someone coming down the cul-de-sac here in a second for this bike right here. We found this at a garage sale about a month ago for $60. We found 2 bikes for $120, and this was one of them. Okay, a car is pulled up. Let's see if we can get this bike sold.
So now I've got the
Yeah,
it's yin and yang, so
that's cool.
yeah.
there's the money. Good bike flip for 8 in the morning. You know, after workout, I always go see at least 2 to 3 thrift stores that are close to the gym. Today, we found Polo Kieran Chukka boots, size 13, super good condition. In fact, maybe not even worn once. These are sold out boots, and size 13, super strong size. I would estimate that this is going to be a mid to long tail item on eBay. One is sold in the past 90 days, but it's a really odd size, 11 and a half. I think it's a really cool boot. I mean, check it out, right? It's a Chukka boot. It's kind of high. It's got about, I don't know, like 6 eyelets. It's a nice boot. I think mid to long tail item is kind of correct. Although, you know, it could be the case that the second one pops on eBay, that it sells pretty quickly, right? Because only one is sold in the past 90 days. But then again, if you look at what's available, there's like none of them. So it could be that, you know, we're playing with something that is in decent demand. There's just no supply of it. Okay, now we're around the garage, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the, you know, audio trade that I got earlier in this video. Some of it is not good, all right? And some of it I plan to donate. Like this right here, this is a Panasonic soundbar, nothing super great with it. Honestly, it has Dolby Pro Logic on it. Like, I don't really care about this thing. This thing needs a power adapter. It's probably okay and good to go, but I'm probably gonna donate this one too, along with those 2 Samsung subwoofers right there, just because this stuff is just not worth that much to get into. Now, we do have a Yamaha receiver right here. This is a RX V871. So, you know, not the worst receiver. This probably has resale of like 80 bucks, maybe 100. And then we have a Yamaha receiver right here with remote everything. I do have to do the update through the USB drive to get the Bluetooth to work, more than likely. But outside of that, it's probably a $100 receiver right here. Obviously, if I put it on eBay, it's more like 200 bucks, but I just do not ship receivers off. That's just not what I do. So yeah, probably locally 100, locally 80. We got some Niles speakers right there, probably locally like 100 for both Niles speakers. And then we have some Bose Sound Companion speakers right there. I might donate that. That could sell for like 25 to 50 on eBay, but I might donate it. It's an audio amplifier looking thing right there that is untested. I won't be able to test it, so I might be selling that as well locally for like 50 to 80 bucks. But inside my house, I have 2 subwoofers that came with the deal. SC2000, it's a Super Cube 2000. I'm already using it. I love it. It's awesome. Its resale is probably like 200 bucks, maybe 250, but I'm gonna keep it. I like it a lot. The deal also came with this Pro Sub 1000 subwoofer. This has got market value of about 100 locally. And it is a decent subwoofer by Definitive Technology. And then right above it, we have my old subwoofer that is good. You know, this is a Pro Sub, I think 600 or 650 or whatever it's called. And you know, it's an okay sub, but compared to the SC2000, which is also known as the Super Cube, that's the one that I put inside my house, and that one is worth money. Any of the SC models, the Super Cubes, basically they have, I want to say, one big woofer. The Super Cube 2000, I think, has a 650 watt amplifier, and then it has 2 bass radiators as well. So this thing's like firing on all angles, and it's, you know, I tested it with some action sequences from a movie called, or a series called Halo that is sitting on, I think, Netflix right now. And just the gun sequences and the action sequences, there's just an enormous difference within the Super Cube subwoofer versus these, which are just not as advanced. So any Super Cube out there that you mess with, and I'll show you after this video what a Super Cube looks like. It's this tiny little like 10 by 10 by 10 thing, and this is the smallest Super Cube that I have inside my house, and it's a subwoofer, all right? So it provides bass, and it has all these crazy ranges, so it can pick up low bass, high bass. It's real tight too, you know? So if you're an audiophile, you'd probably know about like the Definitive Technology Super Cubes, and even know about Velodyne, for example, when it comes to subwoofers. But these are things that, you know, if you're a reseller and you don't know much about that kind of stuff, you know, if you come to a garage sale and you see Definitive Technology or Velodyne, for example, with subwoofers, these are good brands that you should be picking up. But yeah, let's get inside the house and show you, you know, the rest of the stuff. But yeah, a lot of this stuff I'm going to donate. And you might be thinking like, why don't you just like onesie twosies and, you know, put it up on sale or put it on eBay? Well, first of all, I have to test these things out extensively. And I was already having trouble with that bike trying to get, you know, a good sale going, even though it's a cool vintage BMX. Just had a little bit of trouble, and I was like, you know what? For me to walk away with that deal, and I have a Super Cube in my house that is like so awesome. Like I already have one, if that makes sense, right? So there will be other things like the Nile speakers. I'm definitely going to sell. The Yamaha receivers, you know, I'll remotely test them out pretty decently, and then I'll list them locally. None of that stuff's going to get on eBay. Everything else, I'm just going to donate. I really don't care about it. And I, you know, with any kind of lot situation, there's going to be pieces of the lot that you just don't care about. And so I'm very cognizant of my time, and I'm cognizant of like what I want the deal to be and how I can exit and make a good trade. And that's about it. Like I don't need to be making like $1,000 or anything crazy like that. Like I just want to get it done, have something good to show for it, and then rinse and repeat. And also, here's the other vintage BMX I picked up the other day on the vlog. You know, it's sitting right here, and that one is listed. I'm probably going to end up selling it for like I said, like $300 or something like that. But I have listed it for pretty high amounts of money. Someone got back to me yesterday and was like, that is such a cool bike. Like you're right on the money with the chrome model, the ZI, at $600 locally. And I'm like, it's a pretty good sign, you know. It's a BMX like restoration, like avid collector guy that like got with me. But I'm trying to like sell it to him, and I proposed all these like trades and stuff, and we'll see if he goes through with any of it. All right, so this is what the Definitive Technology Super Cube looks like. It's small, but remember, this is the smallest one, so they make bigger ones that are like way up here and they're huge. You like the Super Cube, don't you? So that's what it looks like, right? And it's very unassuming. This thing packs a crazy punch for my living room already. So decided to keep this thing, and it's paired to my sound bar right here, which is nothing crazy like it. So like I said, the fact that I already have this, like I've won in the deal already. Earlier today from a Goodwill, I got this Noble. It's about a 24-inch duffel bag, pretty cool. Yeah, so this is basically that brand that I always talk about. It's a little CrossFitter brand, but they make duffel bags and they make actual backpacks, and they make workout shoes. So I got that for about $12 out the door. Yeah, about $12 out the door. And I think I can sell it about 50, 60 locally and up to about $100 on eBay. So that's a pretty good bag right there. I found it earlier today at a thrift store. Now, something that just sold was this right here. This is a 511 tactical gear. It's called a two banger, right? It can hold 2 clips from a standard AR, rifle. Just a little sling pack, nothing crazy. It's in great condition. I got it as part of a like overlanding lot at a garage sale about 3-4 weeks ago. So there's a lot of things that I bought that day. So I bought 4 511 tactical bags. I've sold one locally for $50, and this one sold for $50 on a $60 asking price eBay. And I still have 2 other ones that I haven't sold, but yeah, pretty good stuff. You know, 511 tactical gear right there. You can check that out. And they do make some decent bags when it comes to the tactical segment. Okay, I just got done with a bike ride and got a cha-ching, or an offer and then a cha-ching for the 511 tactical 4 banger bag. Now this is a sling pack, but can take 4 AR clips. So pretty neat. Here's one of them right here. It's a sling pack, just like that other one, and looks really good. So yeah, that's the next thing to get boxed up, and that's going to go out tomorrow morning as well. Following day, and it's time to sell these shoes, not on eBay, but I had them cross-listed to eBay. I'm into these for $22, and I listed them locally for $60, eBay $90, but locally $60. We have a person coming to get them right now. It's time to get them outside. These are Hoka Clifton 8 in the Fiesta Orange colorway. Pretty nice. I just picked them up last week too. Person's about to be here, so let's go outside. Oh yeah, and it's Halloween. So here's a piece of my costume. Can you guess what it is in the comments? What do you think? Do you know what it is? Let's see. Who knows? Here comes a Jeep down the cul-de-sac. I think this could be our buyer. Pretty fitting color considering the shoes are this color as well. Further along in the day, and we have this 29-inch wheel Trek mountain bike. Well, it's like a hybrid mountain bike, really. It's an 8.3 DS, kind of a model that didn't do so well, but it's kind of cool because I think after this, the Trek Marlin took over and did a lot of better sales for the company. But this is a 29er that we found at a garage sale for $50. It's got front suspension, and you know, it operates pretty decent. We bought it about 2 weeks ago, and we have a guy looking to potentially buy it for $250 to $300. I said cash only, so let's see if this person shows up to buy this bike. All right, the person's here, and they're taking the bike on a spin. We'll see if he wants to pick it up. Who knows? He's riding it around a lot. That's good. That's a good sign. All right, so he did take the bike, and we sold it for $240 on a Venmo. A nice guy. We put it into the white Lexus. And he liked it, and he was a tall dude too, so it was an extra large frame. It was gonna be a tall person. So yeah, that was actually a $50 bike that I got at a garage sale. It was a good flip, but we're gonna close this video out because it's getting close to the 20-minute mark, and we're gonna open up a new one that should be a lot of fun. So I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, and goodbye.